Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and this is it, my last desk setup tour and serving as sort of an announcement video. No, not actually the last desk setup tour video I'm going to be doing, just the last one in this current studio. And so I figured I'd use it as an announcement later on this year. I will be moving to a new studio space, so you'll start seeing videos from a completely different area, which will allow for a lot of new content coming very soon. Again, that's later on this year. But anyways, I'm really excited for this video. This desk setup has been probably my favorite one that I've done so far. First of all, big thanks to Herman Miller for sponsoring this video and making it so great to sit at. I'd also like to point out everything in this video will be linked down below in the description. So with that being said, let's get started with my last desk setup tour. And here it is, all set up and ready to go. Let's dive into it. The first thing I want to talk about is actually, in my opinion, the most important thing, and that is the chair that you're sitting in. I find that if you're comfortable, you can be more productive and you just enjoy the space that you're in much, much more. And of course, it's a long-term investment. It's something you're going to use almost every day for many years. And by the way, Herman Miller offers a 12-year warranty, so this chair is built to last. So this is the Herman Miller Embody chair, and I have to say this is the most premium chair and also probably the most comfortable one that I've ever sat in. A few important things I look for in a chair is weight distribution, where you don't feel off balance whatsoever, and this one balances really well. You also have the pixelated support, and thanks to a dynamic matrix of pixels, the Embody's seat and back surfaces will automatically conform to your body's movements, which will distribute your weight evenly as you sit. You can even adjust just about everything. Your armrests can go in and out, up and down. Even the front of that base can get closer or further away from your knees, depending on your comfort level. This is known as the Embody's seat depth adjustment. And you're going to want some back support, of course, and this really does provide that, especially while I'm sitting there editing for long periods of time. There's a back fit adjustment knob on the back to position your backrest in line with the spine's curve, so you can customize it to your specific back, because everyone knows everyone's spine's a little bit different. I also really like to be able to recline in my chair. I don't like a backrest that just sits there, and this Embody from Herman Miller offers that. And you can change the level of how far back you'd like to be able to recline. This is fantastic for maybe I want to take a break and watch one of my favorite YouTubers. Oh, and the Embody shipped like this. There is no assembly required for your chair. Anyways, I can highly recommend the Herman Miller Embody. I will link to it down below. Now let's talk about the desk itself. I bought this top at IKEA, so it's just a countertop. I can link to it, but the frame is what I want to talk about. Because it is a sit-stand desk, I actually went kind of simple with the sit-stand desk. This is from Vivo, actually, so there's no crazy cable management, anything like that, but you'll see it just works. It goes up and down how I want it to, and it has 3 presets, which I like: sitting, standing, and when I film as well. So if I go to 1, it should bring it down just a little bit right above these cabinets here. These drawers are actually from IKEA as well, on wheels, and they're the Mickey model, so a little bit different than the one that just about everyone seems to be using, which is fine because they're great. Having storage space is excellent. You can sort of reduce clutter on your desk and put it out of sight. Even if it is sort of jumbled, you see I have a bunch of cables, adapters going on here, which is fine, but you can't really tell how bad my actual cable management is because it's just so messy in there. Now this setup isn't just for the MacBook that I'm using, but if you are wondering, this is the M2 MacBook Air that has suited me very well, especially with my video editing and other, work projects, but it still will work with any sort of Windows laptop or even a desktop. Moving along to the centerpiece of our setup, this is the Dell UltraSharp 40 curved Thunderbolt hub monitor. So this is using Thunderbolt 4 to power our setup. This 40-inch curved monitor has an ultra-wide resolution of 5K, so it's really detailed, and you can bump up that refresh rate to 120 hertz. Say you want a game, or even just scrolling looks better. A quick look at the design and ports. There are speakers built into this monitor, and in terms of ports, you have an Ethernet slot, you have multiple USB Type-A ports, you have an audio line out, you have a USB Type-C port for data transfer, and then 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. One of those has 140 watts of power delivery. You have HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 1.4, and not only that, there's a little secret dock on the front that pops out and has 2 USB Type-C ports and 1 USB Type-A port. You can mount the monitor. The stand itself is really minimal, and you can raise and lower it, turn it left and right, and tilt it back and forth. The productivity on this monitor is crazy, especially at that 5K resolution. You can have multiple windows going at the same time. I can transfer over. The timeline looks amazing when I'm editing video on this ultra wide angle lens. It shows so much of it, so I don't have to keep scrolling back and forth. I can just click back and forth. And then, of course, if you're watching 21:9 type of content video, it looks amazing. The colors on this monitor just look great. There's a 100% sRGB and 99% DCI-P3 color gamut. Dell also has their own display manager to customize brightness, contrast, color, your input source, and you can even arrange your windows and have a completely custom look to it. And you know what? Maybe there's a chance you do want to game as well on this monitor. That's a great option with DisplayPort or HDMI 2.1, and at that 120 hertz refresh rate, games look really crisp, really smooth, especially, you know, at 120 frames per second. Overall, really impressed. Having this resolution at that higher refresh rate is kind of a dream for me. This monitor is exactly what I need for this setup. So definitely recommend this Dell UltraSharp 40. For some peripherals, let's dive into it, including not just this wireless charger. That's not all this is right here. We have our Keychron keyboard, our Logitech mouse, and with this single keyboard, I liked how minimal it was without a wrist rest. However, it wasn't quite as comfortable as I wanted it to be. I needed a little bit of leverage up at the top. This wrist rest is a random find on Amazon, and it's not just a wrist rest. If you lift it up, you'll see it's some storage. So it takes place of maybe a drawer at the bottom of a desk. It's actually kind of nice to have. I've used multiple of these things already. This isn't quite as premium as I wanted it to be. This isn't a magnet or anything that's securing this top thing. It just sort of rests up on top of it. So again, it's not quite as premium as I want it to be. Next up, the keyboard, the Keychron K2 wireless keyboard. So it does connect via Bluetooth. There you can use it USB Type-C if you'd like to. At the bottom, you've got grips. You can rise it up if you'd like to. But I'm a big fan of this. These are brown switches, so not quite as loud as some of the other switches. I really like the style. You can also customize that backlighting for the keyboard. As always, a very quick typing test. Needless to say, I am a fan. It's set up for Mac right now, but it does have keycaps for Windows PCs, so depending on what you're using it for. And now on to probably my favorite non-gaming mouse, the MX Master 3S. And if you ever see me without this mouse in a desk setup, you know that mouse is fantastic, because this one has been impossible to beat at this moment. It's incredibly comfortable. You have a button right there. You have 2 there. You have side ones for when I'm editing video, left and right, horizontal, vertical scrolling. That's super comfortable, and you can let it fly if you'd like to. It's incredibly precise. You can completely customize it, attach it to different devices. Just highly recommended, and also USB Type-C, a nice touch from Logitech. Next up, we are on to the powerhouse, so to speak, of the setup here. And this is a Dell docking station that also acts as a Qi wireless charger. So you'll see this is an Android phone. You saw earlier an iPhone worked just fine. So this is the Dell Dual Charge Dock, and via one USB Type-C cable connected to the charging dock, I'll connect it to my MacBook or Windows computer, offers a bunch of inputs. Now I'm personally using the DisplayPort for my monitor, USB Type-A for the speakers, and I will consistently use the USB Type-C slot on the left side to transfer over files to my computer. Also, quick side note, it's great to have when your wireless peripherals die. Just plug in a cable I pull out of my drawer and plug in the keyboard and mouse when it dies. Now, whenever I do need them, there's 4 total USB Type-A ports. You also have an HDMI slot, Ethernet port if you'd like a wired connection to the internet. And once again, you can just drop your phone on the front and it will charge while you get to work. Next up, we have the MX Brio webcam from Logitech, and this one's really exciting because it's the brand new webcam from Logitech. First of all, hardware-wise, it does connect to this top stand via a magnet, which is really nice because it makes it really easy to move left and right. It connects via USB Type-C. It has a really sleek design. On the left and right hand side, you have dual microphones plus a status light that turns on when it's in use. And it has a privacy switch. So you just spin the lens and it has a physical switch that will turn it off. So if you'd like to hide, feel free. This is a 4K webcam as well, but something I really like is how you can truly customize the picture. If you turn off auto exposure, you can change the shutter speed, the ISO as well. Low light compensation is on right now. There's a ton of light coming behind me. HDR is on, but with image, you can also change the white balance. Watch me turn orange. Look at this. It just turned the color balance all the way up. There we go. But I'm going to choose auto white balance for now. But when you get in your setting, you can really customize it. Autofocus, very obvious one. But overall, I've been really impressed with this webcam. Overall, even audio quality sounds good. Now onto that monitor riser, and I have to say it does an excellent job at giving you more desk space. The monitor will sit on top of it. You could even potentially use a mount for your monitor and give you some even more space to use. And the extra space is nice for some extra accessories, books, notebooks if I want to write, also some earbuds as well in case I really need to take a call in private, maybe a briefing. Some room for phones, of course, phones that I'm testing. So obviously space for a laptop of multiple sizes. You could even put it horizontally if you'd like to. And then a couple more peripherals here. First of all, this battery pack, which I've used for a while now, and it's a MagSafe battery pack. I can link to it down below. But it's great for using this is obviously a Samsung phone, or you can use an Apple phone, but if you have maybe a MagSafe case, it will lock on and charge your device. It's actually great. I've been using it for a while now. And you're probably wondering, what speakers am I using on the left and right? And I chose them based on the style, and the sound actually turned out really good. Audio Engine HD3 home music system. These are wireless speakers because you can use them via Bluetooth. Now you can also use them via RCA aux, and I'm using them via USB. You have a 24-bit DAC. These are 60-watt speakers and they sound excellent and they look excellent. And even though there's no separate subwoofer, the bass and the sound in general is really powerful. You can actually feel the sound coming out of the speakers when things get really loud. And this is excellent. The even voice quality is really good, which is great when I'm editing my videos. I'd actually highly recommend these speakers if you're looking for some really clear, powerful speakers with Bluetooth capabilities. Something else I've been using more and more is this DJI Osmo, which does come with a wireless mic and a case, as you can see, but it's good to get more wide angle shots, horizontal or even vertical if you continue there. It shoots in 4K horizontally, 3K vertically, but it has a gimbal on it, so it's very stable, very easy to get smooth shots. And I'm sure you noticed this, a birdhouse Tony Hawk signed board from the GOAT himself, Tony Hawk right there. Big thanks to MediaTek for sending this. This is a great addition to my studio. I might actually wait to hang it up until I get to my next place, so stay tuned for that. But definitely going to hang it up, and obviously want to point out big thanks to you guys for this 100,000 subscriber plaque. This is a staple in all of my setups, of course. Maybe one day we'll hit that million, hopefully someday soon. Also, quick shout out to Wizard and Chessman for 3D printing this logo. Love having it.
And just a quick note, not super exciting, but my allergies have been getting bad lately, so I did purchase this air filter right here, which does seem to do a pretty good job, at least for the size room that I have.
So anyways, that just about wraps up my final desk setup tour. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. Again, everything is linked down below. I'll probably bring a lot of this stuff to my new place just because I love this setup so much. But again, stay tuned. A lot of fun videos coming soon, so be sure to click that subscribe button. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.